Welcome to the Community Collective Podcast. I'm Johnny B. Good, the flip-flop agent, and I've partnered with the Davison Area Chamber of Commerce to bring you the stories that shape our local communities. In our third season, our focus is about connecting, learning, and celebrating the voices that make our communities join us during this third season as we engage in thoughtful conversations and insightful moments. This podcast is commercial-free and supported by both myself, my co-host, and our guests. We would be so appreciative if you could like, share, and subscribe as we continue having conversations that matter, and cannot thank you enough for taking the time to listen.
Welcome to a new episode of the Community Collective Podcast. I am Travis Howell, the Executive Director of the Davison Area Chamber, and we are excited to continue to have some wonderful guests joining us. And our goal is always to introduce our listeners to a wide variety of individuals that are not only in Davison, but in Genesee County. We're all connected some way or another. So today I've been looking forward to this one for a while. One of my friends that I've gotten to know recently is Brianna Mosier. Bri, how are you doing today?
Hi, Travis. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. So just to kind of start off, tell us, who do you work with and what is your role?
Yes. Thanks so much for having me. My name is Brianna Mosier, as you mentioned, and I am the Executive Director of Education and Talent here at the Flint Genesee Group. So for a little bit of context, Flint Genesee Group is a regional economic development organization, and our division within the group really focuses on cultivating and strengthening the talent pipeline from the time that teens are in high school all the way to when individuals are active in the workforce. So here in Genesee County, we have a goal of being a top 5 community in Michigan by the year of 2040, and ensuring that our local employers have access to top talent here locally is just one way that we're contributing to that. So we do a bit of everything, but really the ultimate goal is to make sure that our employers have access to the people to fill those great jobs here in our region.
Yeah, wow. Talk about a mouthful of
I know.
just goals and missions.
Yeah.
And I know I have been very fortunate to take advantage of some classes and kind of continuing education since starting with the Davison Chamber over the past little over a year that's offered by the Flint Genesee Group. And I will say that is something that I always love to learn. I might not be able to absorb it all, but giving you guys offer so much for really anybody to come in there. And it can be everything from learning the best ways to use social media to, leadership programs. So it's a wide variety of what you're offering, and it's available to everybody.
Yeah. And, we really try to lean into that lifelong learner model in the role that I'm in currently, which is a new role for me. I'm overseeing an entire division that has programs like the ones that you mentioned, but as I mentioned previously, also services our teen population. So for example, we have classes like Teen Quest and Career Prep, which are really designed to help middle and high school students gain those employability skills that they can then apply to summer jobs that we place them with through our summer youth initiative. From there, they go on to whatever career path they follow, whether it be a skills trade or whether they pursue college. And then once they enter the workforce, like you said, we try to partner with local organizations to offer those workshops for their employees, because not all organizations or small businesses have the capacity to train their employees internally. It would be nice if everyone could, but a lot of times individuals are wearing a lot of hats. They're the business owner, they're doing the marketing, they're also HR. And so we're able to provide some of those opportunities in the areas of leadership development, staff development, but also for small business owners so that they can invest in themselves, business financing and banking and all of those things you need to know when you have a great idea and you're just getting started.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So now hopefully I get this right. So
Okay.
as the Executive Director of Education and Talent at the Flint Genesee Group, what are your primary responsibilities and goals for the organization? Now, I know you're brand new to this, but you've been with the Flint Genesee Group for a little while, so you kind of already understand it. And with this new role, I'm sure you're excited. So kind of fill us in some of
Yeah.
your brand new responsibilities and goals.
Yes. So, as you mentioned, I've been with the organization for 5 years now. So, I've been here a little while, very focused in the talent development, attraction, and retention realm. And those are the three buckets that we're bringing together under a broader definition of talent in the education and talent division. So, the scope of our division is going to be changing a little bit in 2024. Previously, it was solely focused on that youth and teen programming. So, we're also going through a little bit of a growth period as I transition into this new role. So, in my role, I will still be, as people are familiar with me, assisting with those business training workshops, overseeing our talent attraction initiatives here in the region. So, bringing people who are familiar with our area or unfamiliar with into our community, connecting them with jobs, and then partnering with our current team here to help build out some of those teen programs to make sure that not only are we equipping those kids with the skills that they need to pursue a career, but helping to provide those meaningful work-based learning opportunities for them. So I have the opportunity to work alongside some really amazing individuals to make that happen. And like you said, I'm new to my current role, so I know what I've been doing, but I'm really looking forward to exploring all of the opportunities that we have ahead for us in 2024.
Well, and I know one of my goals for the Davison Chamber is to always try to find speakers for each of our lunches that bring
Mhm.
value and also get our members interested in what they're speaking about. And I was glad that this last year you were able to join us at one of our lunches and share a lot of this information. And I
Yeah.
know when I did kind of follow talking with our members or even guests that came, they loved it. They came away talking about, like what they learned and what other questions they had. So I am very thankful for what you're doing and the Flint Genesee offering communities. And I know for myself, I mean, I'm a team of one with lots of good, dedicated volunteer members
Mm.
that help make sure the Davison Chamber is successful and growing. It's finding good resources that we can bring in to help with that
Yeah.
development, help with that new knowledge. And I'm thankful for that myself. I mean, it really benefits my organization to partner and have you guys come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like you mentioned, these are resources available to everyone, not only here in our region, but we have, chamber members who will travel in from Metro Detroit or even a little further north to take advantage of some of these training opportunities. So we really try to do as much as we can, but we know we're not a one-stop shop, and we're very lucky to have some really great additional workforce development partners here in Genesee County. So if we're not the answer for you, or if we don't have what you're looking for, we really try to be a good connector to some of those other organizations here in the community.
Yeah, and so that really leads into a great next question. The Flint Genesee Group really focuses on cultivating that talent pipeline, like you've mentioned, through its various talent initiatives. Can you discuss the impact these programs have had on individual and organizational growth in Genesee County?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned previously with our small business and entrepreneur population, they don't always have that capacity to invest in their teams internally or in themselves. So these workshops really help to offer the opportunity to not only invest in themselves, but upskill and retain their best employees. And so that's always a win for us. One of my favorite programs that's fairly new is called Flinterns. And this is a program that's tailored to college students who are interning in and around the Flint area for the summer to help them get connected to each other and to our community so they can really see and experience that long time opportunity that's available here. Sometimes they have ties to Genesee County. Maybe they grew up here, they went to high school here, but sometimes they're from out of state or maybe are even an international student and they're living here for the summer to complete that work experience. This year, we're going to be entering our fourth summer, and we've already seen a handful of direct hires from that program. So that's a great way that we are connecting young talent directly to employers here in the area. And then one program that you're really familiar with, Travis, is Leadership Flint Genesee. So this is a leadership development program that happens over the course of several months, and employers will utilize this program as a part of their own succession planning. We've had participants get promoted while they're still completing the program, and that's always exciting to see. And I know if people are connected with you on Facebook or a follower, they see you post every single month on some of the different community locations that we travel to. So it's a great way to not only build yourself in the area of leadership development, but to get plugged into the community and connect with other leaders. And I thought this would be a good time for maybe you to share with our listeners here on your experience with the program and what it's meant to you going through it.
Yeah, no, I am glad you brought that up. I had just made like a handwritten note as we were starting to bring up the Leadership Flint Genesee. This is a program I was really excited. I'm always trying to find new ways to challenge myself and maybe to put myself in situations where I don't know what's going on and need to learn from others. And I would say this has been a great opportunity over the past few months to get to know a lot of individuals from different avenues or spots throughout Genesee County, which is great. And you really learn what they're doing. But we're also being put into opportunities to learn what's going on in our communities and the kind of history behind it. But then start figuring out, strategic planning, which is brand new to me to learn about. And I will say this is where that team atmosphere comes in. And we had a presentation done by the Boys and Girls Club of Flint. And as soon as they did their presentation, you see someone stand up, it's like, all right, let's get organized. And then everyone starts brainstorming. And I think that is one of the very beneficial things about this is, yes, we're all, leaders in an area that we're very interested in, but this is putting us into a group atmosphere to play an active role in Genesee County, not only learning, but just bettering ourselves, which is great. So I would encourage anyone to look into it. I know the Davison Chamber my board was very encouraging when I took it to them, and they were very supportive of saying, hey, we would love for you to do this. We back you. We want you to spend time. And that was my big selling point is, this is an opportunity for me to learn something and bring it back and come up with some hopefully future initiatives or ideas that we can use.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point because, prior to coming into your role at the Davison Chamber, you have a very diverse career background and experience. But even as such an established leader in your own already, we always have room to grow, to learn. And so these continuous opportunities give us the chance to revisit that over and over and over again and set yourself up with the tools to continue to do that throughout your entire career. We're never done learning, as you mentioned earlier in the podcast.
Yeah. And I think that's when you mentioned the Flinterns, I remember one of the most beneficial things for me growing up and going through college was finding internship opportunities. And I love that you guys are doing that too, and getting young people to have the opportunity to experience a lot of things and, kind of a network. And doing my internships prepared me better for employment opportunities, and I think made me stick out a little bit more. And so this is what you guys are doing with the Flinterns. And I think that's a wonderful thing that you have, younger individuals that will hopefully stay in Genesee County and be future leaders.
Yeah. And, as we think about programs like that, we know it's important to connect people to jobs when we're thinking about talent retention and talent attraction, but it's equally as important to connect people to each other, especially if you're coming into a community that you're unfamiliar with. You have to get to know, what am I going to do socially? Who am I going to be spending time with? And through the Flinterns program, as I mentioned, some of these students are from out of state. Some of them are international, and they're being placed in housing here alone. And so that gives them the opportunity to find friends. So they have people to socialize with after work or on the weekends, and they can really start to feel that sense of connection, not only to the career path that they're pursuing, but to this place that they're living in temporarily, although we hope that it will translate into something more long-term. And I know you've also been very involved with our Young Professionals Committee. Again, another committee that is a resource available to all, not exclusive to Flint Genesee Group or Chamber members, but that's a great way to connect to people as well.
Oh my gosh, it's really funny because I also had a handwritten note right before we started to talk to you about that as well.
See, we're so in sync.
We really are. And yeah, Genesee County Young Professionals, I wish I had discovered it a couple years ago just because I've only been able to do a few events or activities with the group, and I'm already looking forward to 2024. We ended the year, volunteering at the Eastern Michigan Food Bank, and it was really fun. We're putting together these boxes, but it's kind of like, okay, how can we be efficient? How can we beat the group that was there before us to get more?
Yeah,
And
right.
it's just a fun atmosphere. We're talking about TV shows or our favorite Christmas movies. But then, I know already on the schedule for this year was it 90s trivia? And I was telling my wife, like, oh, I grew up in the 90s. It's like, this is gonna be perfect. There's gonna be some of these individuals that maybe don't remember the 90s or anything like that. So it is fun. And
Yeah.
it's giving opportunities for people to continue just to meet new people and to experience new things. And so, yeah, when I discovered it's free to join. And I feel like every month there's something new to experience with the Genesee County Young Professionals.
Yeah. And even if it isn't labeled as such, like that's a development opportunity in its own. Not only are you coming and getting the networking, but you might find someone who is maybe in a career path that you want to explore or a little more seasoned in their career. And that's a mentoring relationship right there. We provide those volunteer experiences. We have a little fun, like you mentioned, with the trivia, but we also plan professional development tailored to this audience as well. I know that you came to the emotional intelligence workshop that we hosted last year. We have an annual meeting that happens every July. This past July, we did an awesome panel that was sort of modeled around a Meet the Executives type level up your leadership talk. And so whether it's labeled as it or not, all of these opportunities really can be viewed as employee development or personal development opportunities.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, all of these leadership opportunities, internship opportunities are just, ways to continue to better ourselves. What are some of the most significant challenges that our local talent pipeline is facing? And how do you and the Flint Genesee Group address them?
I would say very top of mind, and we talked about this at the luncheon that I presented at last year, is our declining population. And I think it's important to note here that that's not just a problem for Genesee County. It's a problem that the state of Michigan is experiencing as well. And so we're really trying to align with efforts that are happening at the state level to grow our population. I can send over some resources that maybe you can link to in the description on the Growing Michigan Together Council. That is something that every single person who is listening can get involved with or, educate themselves on to do their own part. Our talent attraction program was a direct response to the declining population that we're seeing here in Genesee County. I think also another thing that we're thinking about is diversifying industry. We are very heavy in education, healthcare, manufacturing. Students who are coming out of college or high school, that might not be in line with the career opportunities that they're necessarily looking for. And so they might be attracted to other cities or places because of tech opportunities or different types of job opportunities that exist more heavily there than they do here. So one way that we're working on that is, in very strong partnership with our Economic Alliance division here at the Flint Genesee Group to attract new businesses to the area. They do a great job at that. But I would also say, even if you feel like an opportunity isn't here, do not hesitate to reach out if you're looking for a specific career focus. We will help you find it here. So those are some of the ways that we're addressing those two challenges when it comes to declining population and diversifying industry.
Yeah. Now, if someone that's listening would like to, visually, maybe they're a visual learner and would like to see more information on this or have questions, what is the best way for them to maybe read something, online or be able to shoot someone an email and ask questions? Like, what's the best way for
Yeah,
a person to do that?
I think the easiest way would be to send me an email and I can point you directly to the resource that you're looking for. My email address is and that's BMOSIER at flintandgenesee.org. Our organization is made up of 4 primary divisions, and that results in a lot of web content. So I would hate to send someone on a long search to find what it is that they're looking for. But if you shoot me a question or shoot me an idea, or you're looking for a specific resource, I'll be sure to point you in the right direction.
Perfect. And I'm sure they can ask you questions about Leadership Flint Genesee and
Absolutely.
and
Yeah,
young professionals. So you're kind of the go-to person with all this information, and you're just probably ready to share it with people.
absolutely. Yes, anytime. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah. So there's a lot of initiatives and a lot of information and goals to bring, be a top talent community by 2040. Can you share a particular success story or kind of notable outcome from leadership or professional development programs offered by the Flint Genesee Group that are helping towards this goal?
Yeah, as I mentioned already, we're seeing people get connected to jobs. We're seeing people get promoted as they're participating in some of our leadership development. We're seeing students come through our programming and do the teen leadership program and then get the summer job and go on to college and taking advantage of our Flint Promise scholarship programs and then coming to work for us, which that's always a fun story to share. This last year, we just launched the talent attraction program that I briefly mentioned, Make Your Move in flintgenesee.org. And we saw 2 people relocate back to our area. And that's not to say those are the only 2 people who have come back into our area. These are the ones that we're connected with to help onboard them into their new community and get them connected with the job. But seeing that grows, whether it be 1 person or 2, every single person matters here in our community is just very exciting for us. And it shows that these initiatives that we've been launching are meaningful, that they're working, and it is definitely not something that we can do on our own. It takes a village, as they say, and we have a really great one here in Genesee County.
And I love that. And, for me, when I know a lot of people say, why, what is your why with the chamber? Well, what's your mission or your purpose? And one of the first things I say is I want to be involved in something that not only is in my community, but looking to engage more people. But I also want to make it a place that when my kids say,
Yes.
they say they go away to college or go to school or anything like that, but they say, I want to go back and be in Genesee County. I want to be in
Yeah.
Davison because I have wonderful memories, but there's opportunities for me to go back there and work and opportunities, for me to raise a family. And I think I love that the Flint Genesee Group has that goal by 2040 to be that top talent community. And that makes me excited because it's not only, the Davison's, chamber is, a small imprint in the big picture of Genesee County, but we're excited to be part of it. And you see this big goal and it makes it, more meaningful, I think, to see that there's other groups out there that are really focusing on bringing that talent back here and getting them involved and being those future leaders and being the people that are going to go in and run, the Flint Genesee Group someday, or, run a local chamber or be, someone that starts their own business.
Yes, absolutely. And I always think about my own kids as well. My son, Luke, and because our boys played basketball in Davison together last
Yes.
year, he had a writing prompt at the end of last year. And it was like, what is your favorite place to vacation or visit? I can't remember which one. And he wrote Genesee County. And I said to my husband, okay, I've been talking about work way too much. That of all the places we've visited and frequent, Genesee County is his favorite. And he wrote about the restaurants and the libraries and the parks and all of these things. And I hope that he has that same passion for our community as he enters high school and that phase of, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get out of here, which we all experienced at some point. But there
Yes.
really is so much to offer and so much opportunity here in our own communities, like you mentioned. And we're so close in proximity that we're able to take advantage of what each other has. So I live just down the road in Goodrich, and we'd love to come into Davison for dinner, or, my husband and son are going to be at the card shop trading night tonight. And so each community has its own unique thing that they bring to that bigger picture and experience for everyone who lives here in our county.
Right. And that's why I've been really excited to see partnerships form, through chambers. And it's, you get where Davison, we're right next to Burton, to Grand Blanc, to Goodrich, to all these communities, and finding ways that we can interact with each other because they offer so much. And like you said, my family's going to dinner in Lapeer, or we're going to dinner in Grand Blanc, and all these places. And why not continue to learn about them and partner together? But it also sounds like you guys, the Flint Genesee Group, just found their new marketing director with Luke. I think he's going to write that new, we have our Peter Michigan out there. Why not just have someone write, live in Genesee County, and it's going to be his paper, right? I love that. It's that makes you excited. You say, I'm talking about work, but obviously it's something that's sunk into our kids, and they're enjoying what we're doing, but also they're remembering these things and creating those memories. And I think that's what it's all about. You talk about, that individual and organizational growth in our area, and it starts with our kids, which is fun. And I think we get that as parents.
Yeah, they really are our succession plan. And I could just see, Luke and Charlie, like, being the fun and creative ones, and then Reagan and Peyton, like, keeping them in line and bossing them around. They could do great things in another 15 to 20 years.
I love that. And I know. And I see that when they played basketball together, that was fun. But really, I do see that with their personalities when we've talked, and looking forward to, hopefully getting them together soon. And I think it want to be entertaining to watch our sons hang out as well, just because I think of their personalities, and I think our daughters are very similar. So we'll kind of finish up with this one good question that I've been looking forward to seeing your response. As you look forward in your new role as the Executive Director of Education and Talent, what are some initiatives and developments that you are excited about?
Yeah, I am excited about so much. I really think that our division is in a great position to scale programs, both new and existing. We have a great foundation and don't need to start from scratch by any means, but I think we're really excited for growth in the new year. More opportunities for teens to have meaningful on-the-job experience, more opportunities to connect our current and prospective residents with the wonderful things that make Genesee County a great place to live, work, and enjoy. And then, as I mentioned already, strong alignment with state initiatives that only strengthen the work that we're doing here locally and give us the opportunity to reach a larger audience. I think that the great thing, if I had to leave everyone with something about our programming, is that there's really something for everyone. And I hope that those listening will reach out to discuss their own team's talent needs or individual talent needs, or be excited to explore the opportunities with Leadership Flint Genesee, and that we can work together in the future for the betterment of everyone.
Well, good. Well, Brianna Mosier with the Flint Genesee Group, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed getting to know you more and becoming friends, and, having our kids interact with each other through basketball. And I am always continuing to learn so much, and I'm excited to continue to be part of the Leadership Flint and Genesee, and the young professionals. And thank you so much for all that you're doing. And I can really see that you have a passion for your new role that you've had, and a passion for Genesee County, and finding a way for families to want to be here, for people to want to continue to make it such a great place to live.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate the time today, Travis. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, hey, enjoy your afternoon, and we will talk very soon.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.